guys? It's Butterfly Lissa, and I'm back with another video. And as always, what I like to do is kind of keep it rolling from the last video. Of course, we're gonna keep building from where we left off. Let me see. I was telling y'all about, spiritual tools. I think I ended that video talking about. Before I do that, let me say this real quick for y'all. I know I talked about, all of these different spiritual tools that you can use. And one big one that I just want to go back to for just a second is altar building. When you guys start to pray to these altars and stuff, I want you to remember that altars hold a place in a lot of different religions, a lot of different forms of spirituality. And so I want for you to remember to do things that feel right to you and that feel like they may be familiar to you. Trust your intuition, you know what I'm saying? If you are familiar with your own ancestry already, make sure that you're doing something that's within the lines of what your ancestors are probably wanting for you to do or have already done. Okay, stay within the confines of what you feel is right. Okay, whatever that is. And I'm saying that because sometimes spirituality, as all things do, has good sides and bad sides to it. So it's important to make sure that you're protecting yourself. When you tap into the spiritual realm, you are awakening a lot of different, not even awakening them because they're already awake, but allowing them to enter your space. Okay, a lot of different forms of spiritual bodies, deities, gods, spirits, ancestors, a lot of different things. So you just want to make sure that you are welcoming the correct things into your space. All right, so stay protected and stay under the confines of whatever you feel is right. Okay, whatever that is. All right, don't do too much. If you are already a Christian, stay within your Christianity. Whatever you already feel safe with and comfortable with. Okay. And when you are doing what you're doing, I really want y'all to do research again. But when you get into all of that, if you are somebody that's tapping into the altar building stuff, make sure that you are just doing stuff that you feel comfortable with. I don't want y'all to just be out here doing nothing. Stay within good energy and positive energy, okay? Because it could be some dark, soul-sucking energy out here, all right? And I don't want y'all to get into none of that, all right? That was the first thing that I wanted to say. And second, in the last video, Lord have mercy, don't let me get too winded because y'all know how I be talking. Okay, I need some more water, but I'm gonna do that in a second. So I talked about how I took a little break from Instagram, and it was very brief. I feel like a lot of things for me go kind of quickly in this process, but I did that because, again, I like to do the work and make sure that I'm going through stuff before I just be like, all right, I need y'all to do this, you should do this in your spiritual process, in your spiritual healing journey, you know what I'm saying? I took this little break from Instagram, and it was really for like an ego check, to allow me to tap more into my spirituality, right? Something that y'all may not realize, but ego is like a big block, a big wall between you and your spirituality. It's almost like ego versus soul. And I'm gonna get into what the hell I'm talking about in just a second. Let me go get some more water because I'm thirsty, okay? And I know I'm gonna be talking and I'm gonna need water, okay? So I'll be back. So before I even tell you why I did that and what it did for me in my journey, I want to tell y'all what ego is and why you need to probably do something to spark this in your journey too. All right, so straight up, textbook definition of what ego is, right? And I looked this shit up, right? Because it's important. It says the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Right? So let's break that down to where you probably can understand it, right? So the part of the mind, obviously that's kind of easy to understand. It's just a part of the brain, the mind that mediates. Mediates means it makes sense of, it kind of finds a middle ground between what conscious and unconscious, right? So there's like a median where it's a little bit of both. We're both unconscious and unconscious here, right? So the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing. What is reality testing? Reality testing is basically saying that you are able to create a thought or a thought of an action in your mind, and you say, okay, I'm gonna do this and see how it feels, see how it looks to the outside world in reality. So this part of the mind takes a little bit of unconsciousness and consciousness, and it decides what we should and shouldn't do, right? It creates actions within our mind, and we decide whether or not it's going to fit best into reality, where it fits best into our personal identity for whatever we want people to think of us. Okay, that's all ego is, right? Ego is the way we project ourselves to the world and what we imagine to be the best way. So I know a lot of people, especially people that feel like they may be enlightened or what have you, we may operate as though we don't have an ego. We feel like we don't have an ego. But everybody has an ego. Like, we are in a point in life, in the timeline, that we've been in as human beings. We're in a point where ego is like up here on the scale of like importance. I mean, social media to me is like the most obvious point of that. So, because in social media, we're projecting ourselves. We don't even meet people before we feel like we know what type of person they are. But there's no way, really, truly, well, I'm not going to say no way, but if we look at things from a point of ego, there's no way to see the full reality of who a person is. And I'm just going to go ahead and get into all of that, right? Your ego is not the real you. Your ego is who you have formulated up from all of the things that you've been through, all of the things that you've experienced, all the things you've created hard eyes for, in who or what a person of your caliber, of whoever you want to be. You've created this person, this persona, you're projecting that to the world. And again, some of y'all gonna say, that ain't me. I'm not operating from ego, but we all do. I'm telling you, we all do. And I need y'all to be able to be honest and real with yourself in order to challenge your ego, to say, all right, hold up, we gonna operate differently, because we all operate from a place of ego, and in doing that, you limit yourself. Like I said, that's not the real you. It's like a formulated, limited version of you. It's a version of you that you have blocked off parts of yourself that you don't want to show from the world. So it's just half of you, maybe not even half of you. It depends on how much you are limiting yourself, how much you're attached to your ego. So when I started to think about this, I'm like, because it came to me, it's crazy how stuff comes to me. I started to want to do shadow work, and we're going to get into that in our next video on why it's important, to do this first, I think, and then you can start doing shadow work. But your ego, like I said, it limits you. And so then if your ego's not the real part of you or the realest version of you, what is the realest version of you? Your soul, who you are when all of the preconceived ideas of what or who you're supposed to be, in the world or in reality, you got to break away from that. You got to break away from that idea, those preconceived ideas of whoever you think you're supposed to be, and just be. So when you tap into a level of awareness and a level of acknowledging yourself, that's when you're able to say, okay, I'm not operating from a place of ego, right? When you're operating from a place of ego, you're not honoring your soul. You're not honoring the realest part of you. Like I said, that's limiting yourself. The ego gives the illusion of control over the outer world. Your ego says, if you look like this, if you're doing it like this, they gonna do this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna like this picture. If I post this picture and I'm doing this in this picture, if I get it from this angle, they gonna like this angle. They gonna like this. I'm gonna get some likes on this. Y'all not gonna post no ugly picture, no picture that you've created in your mind that is ugly. You look at it and you say, damn, I'm ugly right here. But are you ever ugly? And it don't even matter if you feel like you are or not, but are you ever ugly though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you operating from a place of soul, then you can love every part of yourself. You can show every part of yourself rawly, unapologetically. The reality of it all is that you cannot control what other people are going to do or think or perceive of you, no matter what way you present yourself. And that's just real, because people can see, even though you give that ego, at some point all of that falls away, and ego is just an idea, it's just an illusion, and the soul you is the real you. So when they see the soul you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be either disappointment or approval. And I don't think that you should set yourself up to be in that position, for one, because like I said, you can't control what people think of you. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that you can control is what's inside you. Your soul. You can control who you really are. You can control how you move within that. I'm gonna give y'all, just because I didn't want this video to be too long, and I feel like I'm hitting a lot of the points that I wanted to hit. I'm gonna say something after I say this little list of stuff, and this is some stuff to help y'all be able to tap into challenging your ego, acknowledging your ego, and releasing it a little bit as you continue your journey. These are some things that I looked at some stuff, and I was like, just some good points. There was a lot more. I want y'all to you could possibly go and do some research if you want to, whatever. But these are just some things I want you to remember, or to if you write it down, as a matter of fact, write this stuff down and do what you want with it, okay? I told y'all you should be journaling as you do this, but the first thing is, remember, you are always a student. Always a student. And I had to do that one. I had to remember that, because sometimes you get so good at some shit, or you just get so proud of yourself, and you like, yeah, these niggas can't tell me nothing. I'm out here and I'm doing it, period, right? But you gotta always remember that you're a student. You are always in a place of needing to learn, needing to grow, needing to get better, no matter what mark you've reached, okay? No matter how good you get, no matter how high you go, you always going to be needing to learn and get better, okay? Cultivating yourself. So remember, you are always a student. Second, kill your pride. Kill your pride. This one is probably one of the more challenging ones, because pride is like, I'm not finna do that shit. I'm too good for that shit. That shit is I'm above that shit, right? Kill your pride. And you can look at that in whatever ways you want to look at that, but kill your pride. I'm telling you to operate from your soul. What do you want to do? What do you feel within you that you need to do about it? Kill your pride. Third, stop telling yourself a story. There is no grand narrative. Be present. This one is funny to me because your ego wants to romanticize your life for you. We are not in a big grand movie where the camera's on you and we filming you and it's all about you. Some of y'all gonna be mad at me for saying that. Stop telling yourself a grand story. There is no big narrative. You're not in a big film, big movie. Everything going around you. Be present. Being present means being present within yourself, but being present outside of yourself as well. Y'all gonna get me when y'all get to that point, but stop it. All right, you beautiful. You great. You're brilliant. But it ain't like that. All right. Fourth, forget credit and forget recognition. Forget credit and forget recognition. Forget somebody saying, "Hey, that shit nice. Hey, you look good." Forget that shit. All right. Forget when you get ready to post something or whatever, and you like, "Damn, I hope I get 20 likes on this shit. I hope they feeling me. I hope this shit go up." Forget that. When you doing that, you operating from ego. Because you won't, again, ego is not about you. It's about what other people perceiving of you, what you think other people are perceiving of you, and you using that to uplift yourself. Forget credit, forget recognition. Fifth, see things as a whole, not just what's on the surface. And I talked about that a little bit earlier because I said, when you're operating from a place of ego, you're not able to see, when you see other people's pictures or you see whatever, how people are projecting themselves to you. When you're only able to see just their projection, you're not able to see all of who they are. That's not just in people. That's in situations as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, step back and say, all right, what's going on here? As a whole, be a student. Learn, listen to it. Don't think that you got it all figured out yet. See things as a whole, not just as here or there or what you see on the surface, okay? Get a little deeper into it. And the last one, what's that? Number 6. Place the mission and purpose above yourself. So this one to me is pretty straightforward, especially as far as your spiritual journey. Place the journey, the process, the healing process. Place where you're trying to get above yourself. Now, I'm not telling you don't take care of yourself. I'm not telling you don't love yourself, but I'm saying place it above ego. Place it above the things that don't truly matter. You got to remember that becoming aware and dropping your ego and things like that, the things that are going to be a little bit more challenging, a little bit harder to do, they're necessary. You got to be able to do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You feel like, oh, this shit hurt, or I'd rather just ignore the pain, whatever it is that you clinging to. Place the process and the journey above that. Stick it out. I promise you, when y'all get through all the bullshit, you're gonna be flying, my nigga. We gonna be some butterflies, okay? This is metamorphosis. Alright? So I said all of that, you know what I'm saying? And that was really the message of, as far as like the need for releasing your ego and being able to elevate within that, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna allow a lot of y'all to ascend. When you challenge yourself and do that, you're gonna see how it really truly blocks your spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? Because once you let go of your ego, you're able to tap into a higher level of awareness of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're able to see yourself and able to see other people too, for realness and rawness. But yeah, so that's really why I took that little short break on Instagram. It was just a challenge for me to see why I was doing things the way that I was doing them. Not just from, posting on like Instagram, but in a lot of different areas, you know what I'm saying? And it sprung me into some of the shadow work and some of the work that I probably didn't want to really do in the healing process. Healing is not linear, it's up and down, and it's good and bad. So I did that, but I'm still doing that, and we're gonna roll into another video really soon. So stay with me. I'm wrapping up here. As always, you are never finished learning, you are never finished growing. Remember that always. Like I said in this video, remember you're always a student. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to comment a butterfly down below for me. I don't care who you are, you feel like you too cool, okay? Challenge your ego and comment that butterfly for me, okay? Share this with your friends, okay? Keep them in the process, in the journey with us. You know what I'm saying? We all need to elevate. You know, we cannot make the world a better place if we don't start with ourselves first. You know, put a little light in your corner and maybe it'll spread. I don't know. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Like this video. Yeah, even if you don't feel comfortable enough to comment anything, you know, if you want to say something, comment it. Even if you don't feel comfortable enough to comment anything, a lot of y'all have been DMing me about, especially from the last video about crystals and all of this. Don't be scared to DM me, okay? I really enjoy talking to y'all. I really enjoy connecting with y'all. I really enjoy knowing that what I'm doing is making somewhat of a difference, okay? Even if it's this much of a difference, okay? I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for being here with me. Beautiful butterflies, okay? It's Butterfly Lisa, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign out now. Peace, love, and light.